Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. This FTX collapse is about to claim its first huge victim. This coming from BondCrypt XRP, the crypto lender, which has been bailed out by FTX, is reportedly preparing to file for bankruptcy. And they're talking about the company BlockFi. So I don't know how many of you guys use BlockFi, if you've been alerted or emailed by the staff over there to let you know that this is happening. Apparently, this is a fairly new development coming down the pipe. The first big victim of the unexpected collapse of FTX has emerged. It is cryptocurrency lender BlockFi, which was bailed out last summer by FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried. The platform is preparing to file for bankruptcy, according to the Wall Street Journal. So this news just emerged yesterday, guys. The firm is planning to lay off some of its workers, the newspaper said, citing anonymous sources. BlockFi didn't immediately respond to a request for comment. A bankruptcy filing from the crypto lender would not be much of a surprise. The firm has already begun to prepare its customers for this eventuality on November 14th by suspending cash withdrawals and warning that it would no longer accept deposits. Well, that's not really a good enough way to warn your customers that you're going bankrupt, although I guess that is a good sign. Again, I don't know if by now maybe some of you guys who have used BlockFi have received emails or not. Please do put it down in the comments section if you feel comfortable sharing. You can also tag me on Twitter. I'm at WorkingMoneyCH on Twitter. Another casualty, and Kevin O'Leary was saying a big company is going to go to zero. This is likely going to cause a lot of disruption in its wake, and here we have it. We are seeing it with FTX. Sam Bankman-Fried seems like, he's not really feeling the effect that normal fraudsters would feel in this same type of situation. I saw this from M. Lee Jr. here on Twitter. You cannot make this stuff up. Now, the other day I talked about Kevin O'Leary. I talked about FTX going to zero. Kevin O'Leary basically stating that the market has seen its bottom, and now he's going to buy up more cryptocurrency. Projects that make sense, projects that solve problems. Of course, all those good coins, fundamentally good coins. And, I've talked on this channel numerous times about the coins that I'm interested in, namely XRP, Algorand, VeChain. I also have some Bitcoin, of course, and in this morning's video, I also kind of was toying with this idea of HBAR for a pure spec trading play. I know HBAR does have utility as well, but I also do trade coins just for pure profit. And, whether it's some XRP and keep some XRP for, higher values down the road, I do, I strategize in that way too. But anyway, getting a bit off topic here. This from Kevin O'Leary. He's actually interviewed by Crypto Man Ran here. And here's what he said, okay? I can't believe it, but then thinking about it a little further, yeah.
If SPF knocked on your door again and said, look, I failed in my last venture. I have a new crypto venture. I need money. Would you back him?
That's a great question. No one's asked me yet. I think we can all admit, you can love him or hate him given what's happened, but he was one of the most brilliant traders in the crypto universe. He also built one of the most robust platforms. We used FTX actively. It was a very robust platform that allowed us to get information on a compliant basis. So I really like what he built.
Would you back him?
The answer would be yes.
What? Okay, so that's what Kevin O'Leary said. Of course, he is a paid sponsor. He did mention that at a conference about a month ago. So maybe it could have to do with a back-end deal where Kevin O'Leary realizes he's got to be very careful what he says today. And so long as Sam Bankman-Fried is not in jail, maybe he has obligations that we don't know about. I mean, he's also said that the platform itself was very robust. So there's all these technical reasons too why Kevin O'Leary liked the FTX platform, and he's singing Sam Bankman-Fried's praises in terms of his trading abilities. I mean, that's up for debate, I guess. Funny considering, Perry Ann Boring doesn't really get it. Sam Bankman-Fried was never the face of crypto in DC, she says. Here's an interview she did. I believe this was just from yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I've always seen just the approach that FTX has brought, an SBF personally to the conversations in Washington to be a little bit odd. The Chamber of Digital Commerce, we were established in 2014. We were the first organization in the country to advocate for the digital asset and blockchain technology ecosystem. FTX wasn't even established until 5 years later, so they were here much later to the game, and they came out with very aggressive ways to approach policymakers. So there's a lot of goodwill that's been done by our team at the Chamber, by our members at the Chamber who have relationships that supersede the work that SBF has done. I think from a reputational perspective, I think it definitely brings and invigorates the skepticism that we have from regulators and policymakers, but there's an entire industry of people on the ground in Washington educating policymakers about this industry. He is not the face of the industry in Washington, and he never was, and I think that's been misreported.
So it's interesting, Perry-Ann Boring's view on this, considering, her association with the Digital Chamber and how it has been so influential for so many years. Sam Bankman-Fried comes on the scene in 2019, and he's, playing hotshot, and he's in Congress, and he's making rules, and she's just kind of like, who the hell are you, man? You are not the face of crypto in DC, but sometimes it's not about merit, it's not about experience, it's not about history, it's about nepotism. Ben Armstrong here also bringing this up. Anyone else confused as to why Sam Bankman-Fried has not been arrested yet? Let's look at why. Well, of course, we know the connection with Gary Gensler and his girlfriend's dad. I believe his name is Glenn Ellison. Sam Bankman-Fried's dad shaped legislation for Senator Warren, Senator Elizabeth Warren. So there's another connection there. He's the #2 donor to Joe Biden with stolen customer funds. So there's also that story, aka your money. And he laundered money to the Ukraine for the midterm. So there was also that developing story that I haven't really touched on too much. It kind of goes off into another tangent, but it is still something that I am interested in. So there's all these connections here, not to mention, and I dare not say this word on this channel, nor do I dare say this word. I don't even say this word. Bankrupt FTX gave $18.2 million to early beer flu researchers who cast doubt on this and on this. So FTX apparently did fund that study as well. All things that make you go, Yeah, okay, I'm going to leave that topic where it is because I don't want this video devolving into that type of video. I think it's safe to say, though, why we are seeing Sam Bankman-Fried in the news as being this advocate for crypto. And it is kind of confusing. When I hear Perry-Ann Boring saying this, it is kind of confusing to, I guess, how can you not know this, especially by now? Maybe she's playing dumb. Maybe she does know and she's just not letting the cat out of the bag. But she's being interviewed and she's saying, we are the Chamber for Digital Commerce. We are the organization that is the face of crypto in Washington and not Sam Bankman-Fried. Playing a little bit of politics, we also got this guy's from Michael Branch as Ripple Labs is getting an inch closer to victory against the SEC. The firm is preparing for a great launch in the next few days. Just the other day, I did talk about how Ripple themselves, Ripple the company, did draft some cryptocurrency guidelines for the government of the UK. Well, they're taking it another step further. As a result, the UK is gradually opening its doors to cryptocurrency following terms and regulations of distribution. As Ripple Labs is getting an inch closer to the victory against the SEC, the firm is preparing for a great launch in the next few days. Recently, Ripple, the firm behind XRP, published its white paper regarding a proper infrastructure for growing the crypto sector in the UK. And UK regulators do, in fact, want to expand the sector. In fact, this brings impactful plans for the UK to utilize several opportunities in building a crypto hub. And so it was likely that Ripple did draft these regulations for that particular purpose. The other thing is maybe Ripple is going to be central to this crypto hub. Again, I'm just speculating, but all pieces of the puzzle do make sense in this. According to the white paper, a potential crypto asset sector will economically benefit the UK in bridging a gap between financial and commercial actors more efficiently. Through this, there will be cheaper, faster, and more secure payments for small and mid-sized crypto firms and retail users, specifically for cross-border payments. It can uplift the economy of the UK and enhance social benefits and reputation on the world stage. So Susan Friedman did come out and she said, we're at an inflection point for crypto in the UK, and there's no time to waste in agreeing on the local framework so the UK can achieve its vision of becoming a hub for responsible crypto innovation. So yeah, I mean, if Ripple is in fact putting forth this framework, it does only make sense that they want to be central to this crypto hub. We know XRP has been basically, I mean, for all intents and purposes, has been greenlit in the United Kingdom. The British government is very favorable to XRP, and their organization that is the equivalent, I believe, to the CFTC has already given it regulatory clarity. They say it's a currency. So the UK, there's no problem in the UK. Also, for sake of argument, if Americans go to the United Kingdom, there's no language barrier there either, which may have been a bit of an issue if, Ripple was spearheading this thing, an American company moving to somewhere in Asia, like Japan or Singapore, or somewhere similar. So all these signs really pointing to something positive and perhaps the next step in crypto adoption for Ripple specifically, but also worldwide, coming out of the UK as that crypto hub. Wanted to thank Michael for posting that. I also saw this guy's from Mike Manfield, and this has to do with an Australian bank, which is a Ripple partner, NAB or NAB. NAB scraps fees on international transfers. So they no longer want to charge a fee for oversized transfers in a foreign currency when using the NAB Internet Banking app. The charge will benefit more than 30,000 NAB customers who use NAB Internet Banking and the NAB app each month to transfer money to an overseas account. In addition, NAB has improved its foreign exchange rates, helping customers' dollars go further in their chosen foreign currency. And here's a quote, guys. Our customers transfer funds overseas for a variety of reasons, but the biggest single reason is to support families overseas. So, remittances going from Australia abroad. Obviously something right at the beginning that Ripple was touting as one of their specialties. With almost half of customers making international transfers, supporting families overseas, we want to help them move their money in other currencies without extra costs. And of course, since NAB is a Ripple partner, they can do this seamlessly. The removal of the previous $10 fees follows a move by NAB in 2017 to implement a flat fee for overseas transfers made in a foreign currency through NAB Internet Banking and the NAB app, while NAB absorbed charges from overseas banks receiving funds. So this is the other thing too that I know not just my channel, other channels were talking about years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, is the fact that it's the better mousetrap. It's the snowball effect. When one customer does this, we're going to see a cascading effect. Unfortunately, it has taken a little longer. And in the United States, it's taken even longer. But we're seeing this in Australia, specifically a Ripple-enabled company, NAB Bank, looking to basically abolish fees. And so if you're not Ripple-enabled, if you're not using DLT technology, how are you going to compete? So a great example of that. Wanted to thank Mike Manfield for posting that. And Crypto Liu Liu on Twitter here posting this. Standard Bank in South Africa are sending an email around to their customers. And guys, it's not the only bank. Now, we initially thought that the ISO 20022 standard was pushed. It was supposed to happen in November 22, which is right now. But, they've publicly stated that they are pushing the standard. However, could we be seeing right now inclinations of an ISO 20022 update, even if it isn't in its full capacity? Because I believe the November 22 deadline was supposed to be, we were supposed to be way further ahead. But here's why I'm thinking this. We're seeing a lot of messages from many different banks, guys. In order to continuously improve our electronic banking platform, we are pleased to advise that Swift 2022 updates will be made to the custody comms module this weekend. So this was posted, I guess they got this message recently in the weekend of November 18th, which is coming up. That is going to be when they are going to implement this. As a result of the update, custody comms will not be available for you to access from Friday, November the 18th until Sunday, November the 20th. We apologize for any inconvenience this may cause. So guys, this coming from Standard Bank, particularly Standard Bank in South Africa. But this is not the only bank where we are seeing this type of message. This coming from DJP_XRP here on Twitter. Got the same kind of message from my local bank in Norway yesterday. Did not say ISO 20022, but the system is having an upgrade over the weekend. So now we have Norway, we have South Africa. Under more info about the update, they were explaining it in a way that sounds like it is, in fact, ISO 20022. So this is in Norwegian, but apparently the same kind of update. It looks as though they are outlining some times that banking services will be suspended. So we've got Norway, we've got South Africa. Another one here, guys, Seeking Truth on Twitter, France. I don't know if it's for the same reason or not, but the date and hours of unavailability are pretty much the same. So here we go in French. Nos services seront indispensables du November 20th at 1 p.m. to November 20th at 6 p.m. So not going to be available afin de vous aider à lutter efficacement contre toute tentative de fraude. Okay, so I think this says to help prevent against fraud, our bank recommends that you respect the next directions if you click here. Nevertheless, just looking on that November 20th date, it is looking like another bank, this one happens to be in France, is also shutting down on, coincidentally, the exact same weekend as the bank in South Africa and the bank in Finland. And now we have this one, guys. Here's a bank in Italy also stating this. However, the date is pushed off a little further, November 22nd, 2022, which would be the Tuesday. And I did just translate this in Google Translate here. I basically had to type it because this is a JPEG image. We inform you that with a view to streamlining the bank's procedures from November the 22nd, the agreed foreign transfer function will be eliminated. It being understood that for foreign transfers, you can always use the online foreign transfer function. So, I mean, it is convenient that all this is happening at the same time at 4 different banks in 4 different countries. So we've got Italy, South Africa, France, and Finland. It certainly does sound like an ISO 20022 migration, even though they did push the full implementation date. So guys, could we be seeing this happening sooner rather than later? Are we going to see the beginnings of XRP adoption in this new financial system? Maybe not in the United States, but certainly for certain countries in Europe and South Africa. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.